So, the Inwood Film Festival, presented by Inwood Arts Organization, is a cultural event that showcases and celebrates independent filmmakers from the Inwood community. The fifth annual event will feature screenings of 25 diverse films and 3 seminars for all to enjoy. And one of the films being featured is Anya, a contemporary sci-fi love story of a newlywed couple determined to have a child, which leads to DNA consequences and for their child, that is, and humanity. Joining us to tell us more about the film and the festival, please welcome Inwood Film Festival Executive Director Aaron Sims and Anya co-director Carolina Taylor. Hello and welcome.
Welcome. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Congratulations on your 5th year.
Thank you so much.
You know, I'm always fascinated by film festivals and the true purpose that they serve within a community. Do you care to enlighten us as to why this film festival even started?
Sure. First off, it's hyper-local. As being a resident of Inwood and the area of the neighborhood of Northwest Bronx, Washington Heights, the whole community, we don't have any movie theaters. We don't have any cultural arts options as far as like bricks and mortar. And so we kind of use the neighborhood as a canvas to create this opportunity for local filmmakers to show their stuff. So the whole idea was to say you can either make your film in the neighborhood and be from somewhere else, or you're a local filmmaker that can make your film here or somewhere else. And so we showcase that town in a very hyper-local way.
That's cool. Thank you for clarifying that. So you don't have to be from Inwood, but it's either you're from Inwood or you're complementing Inwood or you're capturing Inwood.
Yeah, that's the idea, is that you're representing, there's a connection to the community of some kind.
Right.
So we kind of make it very, hopefully, inclusive by saying you can be from anywhere and shoot your movie here, or you can be from here and shoot movies somewhere else.
Got it. And so how many films, I already said we're doing 25,
right.
However, but how many are shorts and how many are features?
Sure, there's 2 feature films, and the 23 of the other ones are obviously short films and student films as well. I think a really great thing about our festival is that we help cultivate the next generation of filmmakers, and so we have people from all over submitting their films of all types, and we have 3 seminars as well to help kind of create and educate that are very industry-oriented as well for people that are pay what you can.
Yeah, we're going to visit the seminars in a minute once we get to speak to Carolina about her film, Anya, which the title itself is beautiful, and I understand you're an anthropologist as well. So let's talk a little bit about the concept and the inspiration behind the film.
Sure. So Anya is really inspired by all of the changes that are going on in DNA technology, everything from 23andMe and Ancestry.com, and how that's rewriting our understanding of what family means, like who belongs to our family, who doesn't, our identity based on our biological genetic identity, but also advances that maybe are a little less unknown, things like we're learning more from fossil DNA, such as I, as a European American, have about 4% of my DNA is Neanderthal based. So that means that our understanding of how Homo sapiens relate to Neanderthals is quite different than what we might have thought. And we wanted, my partner Jacob Okada and I wanted to package this into a story that kind of was very personal and small and people could relate to. So it's about a couple who discover they're infertile and they don't know quite why, and they find out that the reason's genetic. But for a long time, people lived with this idea of being infertile with outsiders. It's
right.
not just this one guy, it's this whole community that lives in Queens.
Right, and I believe you gave them a name, right? It's like, am I giving it too much away?
No, it's fine, it's fine. The name kind of stuck. It was just a code name for us when we were writing, but we call them the Narwhal, because it's a mythical community. A lot of the film is real science
right.
and real anthropology. The Narwhal people are totally made up based on kind of my understanding of how cultures come to develop. And so the Narwhal are a myth, like the unicorn whales, right?
Right.
So that's why they got that name. But we decided they call themselves Narval, which in their language, what sounds a little bit like Spanish but isn't, that means water. It means seawater for them because they're from an island. It's something that's important to them.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of, we do delve into a little bit the culture of the Narwhal people who are living kind of hidden in plain sight in Queens. This one guy one of the leads emigrates from Queens to the big city
Uh-huh.
and finds himself falling in love with a woman in Washington Heights, Inwood.
Right.
So a lot of the film's actually shot in Inwood, right around the
Right.
190s, Fort Tryon Park, a Chinese restaurant near us, a hair salon near us, lots of local extras. All of our actors are New York based. So it's a very New York and very upper Manhattan story.
That's so awesome. I love the concept. I love everything I read about it. I love that you're kind of tapping into immigration from a borough perspective.
Yeah.
And also, I also read, and I hope I'm not giving too much away, that part of the reason that they're infertile is because there's a superstition that if he's outside of his community, that he's unable to just produce, right, or reproduce.
Yeah, you're referring to the curse. So for something to have happened genetically for the Narwhal people to be so different from the rest of the Homo sapiens, it had to have happened thousands of years ago.
Right.
So they would have developed an understanding of their place in the world and found cultural explanations for that. So they explain this through a curse, which is, hey, if you leave the community, you're destined to never have kids. And by the way, we like you here. Please don't immigrate and go away.
Right. Isn't that
it's
fascinating?
Yeah, it's kind of it's their way of keeping the family close to home to protect them.
Right, and keeping it all in the family.
Right.
And keeping the blood pure, per se. Right?
They don't have a choice.
Right.
They don't have a choice in this case. So
Yeah.
it's more like
We're talking like this is a real thing, right?
well, you kind of feel like it because they're real people. The
If you watch
Narwhal.
the movie, you will think that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a lot of questions about that, but it's partly because we use local extras. We have Cuban, Venezuelan, Mexican, Honduran, Salvadoran immigrants who are playing the Narwhal people in Queens and in Manhattan. That's great.
It is. And so
It
that
feels-
leads me to, how do you decide on the films? Like, what is that process?
Dartboard.
Dartboard,
no, just
yeah.
kidding. No, it's we have a selection committee. Well, first off, it's this whole festival only exists if the community wants it, and so that's why it's pretty fascinating. It's a miracle every year to pull it off because we're totally submission based. So we have a selection window from October 1st, usually through January 15th. So it's very inclusive and open, and so we have a selection committee that puts it all together and votes on the films, and then we have an awards committee that decides on awards for excellence in filmmaking based on those selections. And so it's very democratic, but it's truly amazing that this neighborhood has become this canvas for, and kind of transcends filmmaking. It's become a platform using art to bring people together.
Right.
Through filmmaking. I think that's pretty fascinating. And actually, they had a short film in our very first festival as well called Every Other Weekend, also a great film. And
On YouTube.
it's on YouTube as well.
What's the name of it?
Every Other Weekend.
Every Other
It's a
Weekend.
great film. And we feel that there's so many talented people in this neighborhood. Why go downtown
Right.
when you can see films in your own neighborhood by
Absolutely.
your neighbors?
Right, exactly, and invest in your community,
Right.
and definitely support our stories, because at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's our stories
Yes.
being told in whatever form, in scientific form, but the idea is that it's our people and it's our history that we're creating. And so before we go, we have to share with our viewers the seminars that
Sure.
are being offered.
Yeah, they're all over the place in a very good way. We have a kids animation seminar for 3rd to 6th graders at noon on Saturday. We have a sound design for documentary filmmaking for people who are, want to up their game on their iPhones or who are actually making feature films, which is very important, I think, this day and age, but particularly in an election year, I think.
Yeah.
And then also tremendous seminar on filmmaking A to Z. So I get a phone call and email every week. Hey, can I have a cup of coffee to show you how to make film? It's like, no, but you can come to our seminar now. And we have professional filmmakers, Samantha Farinella, hosting a seminar, literally everything you need to know from soup to nuts, how to make your film, but also covers distribution and how to deal with
Right, the business
whole
aspect
business of it
of
as
it,
well. So I'm really excited to offer those, and those two are pay what you can. So I mean, we're very inclusive. We take out the barriers for anything. We want to give people the tools to keep creating and reaching for the stars through their ideas.
Okay, so when is your film being featured?
Friday night at 8:05. Saturday
Saturday
night.
night.
I'm sorry, Saturday night. March 14th, Pi Day, also Jacob Okada's birthday.
That's right. That's
Should have
right.
said that.
Okay.
But 8:05, there's a Q&A after, which we'll be present for.
Beautiful.
right,
And then
yeah.
for people to obtain tickets as well as attend the seminars, where do they go?
Sure, it's very easy. InwoodArtworks.nyc.
All right. Well, thanks for coming by and
Thanks for
sharing it
having
with
us.
our viewers,
My
Aaron.
pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Anna, Carolina. Thank you. All right, you
you.
guys, once again, the Inwood Film Festival is taking place March 13th through the 15th at the Campbell Sports Center, which is located at Broadway and 218th Street. And for tickets, you can visit inwoodartworks.nyc. We have to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll hear about some spring concerts that you can attend this year. Don't go anywhere.